Welcome to the Daily Devo. My name is Jeremy, and today we want to talk about increasing application is a sign of fruitfulness. I want to start by reading through 2 Peter chapter 1, verses 3 through 8, and I want to work through these verses. Verse 3 says, "As his divine power has given to us all things that pertain to life and godliness through the knowledge of him who called us by glory and virtue." Verse 3 tells us that we have been given all things that we need for life and godliness. Since mankind was put in the garden, we've had this thought that somehow God is holding something back from us. The serpent said to them, "Did God truly say?" He used this very idea that there is more, when the truth was God was clear with his direction and his commands. We need to believe that when God said we have what we need, that he meant it, and we just need to go from there. Let's look at verse 4. It says, "By which have been given to us exceedingly great and precious promises, that through these you may be partakers of the divine nature, having escaped the corruption that is in the world through lust." It tells us his promises are exceedingly great and precious. I know I've been guilty in the past of taking for granted the value of his word and his promises. We need to recognize they are valuable, or we won't ever apply the truth contained in them. And we have to remind ourselves regularly that his promises are precious, in the same way that we have to remind ourselves to be grateful for other areas and things in our life. Now let's look at verses 5 through 8. It says, "But also for this reason, given all diligence, add to your faith virtue, to virtue knowledge, to knowledge self-control, to self-control perseverance, to perseverance godliness, to godliness brotherly kindness, and to brotherly kindness love. For if these things are yours and abound, you will be neither barren nor unfruitful in the knowledge of our Lord Jesus Christ." I want to call your attention to the progression in these verses. We all start by turning our life to Jesus through faith. And that's where verse 5 starts. It says, "From faith, add virtue. From virtue, knowledge." The point being is that Peter expects us as Christians to progress in our faith story. If you've been following Jesus for any amount of time, you shouldn't be the same as when you first started following him. He described it at the end of verse 8 as being fruitful. If we apply what God tells us, we can't help but change and get better. That's fruitfulness. It's a blessing to not only you, but to all those that are around you. Our spouse is grateful that we're adding kindness to our faith. Our employer or employees are grateful that we add self-control to our faith. Your future or current kids are grateful that you add knowledge to your faith. We can change and be who God has called us to be if we'll apply what he has given us. Thanks for joining us today on the Daily Devo.